Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's that for an intro, bro?
Sounds good to me.
All right, cool. Well, welcome. We're starting to get comfortable. This is our fourth show, so now we're starting to get the vibe, and I think we're rather expert. We're getting rather expert.
Vibes.
Tonight. Now, I don't know very much about. I got a pre-show listing of what's coming, but I will let you take over. Kind of give us the three topics we're going to hit tonight. Are we in left world, right world, or
We're kind of
Piers
bumping
Morgan?
around a little bit. So, one, we're going to visit just a brief kind of look into the background of Hassan and Ethan from H3H3 through a certain video. There's so many layers to that one. It's a take on take on take. But then we're checking in with kind of some shit libs who are kind of debating. I'm trying to remember even the cause of
Define shit lib. Define how you define shit as a liberal. How do you define shit lib?
to me, shit lib is just a funny way of saying liberal in general, and I call them shit libs because we're so shitty at governing
Yeah.
and winning elections. We're a little
Right.
better than the lefties at winning elections, but we're still pretty shitty at governing.
Okay. And
Despite
lefties would be the Marxist, the ideologically driven. Well, I mean, I'm not to say that liberals aren't,
I
but you know what I
here's
mean.
a defining factor for me. I believe that private capital should exist. Lefties do not.
Okay.
Things like that. Like, if
Perfect.
you believe
That's a
everything needs to be a co-op or needs to be ran by the state, then you're a lefty. You're a tanky. You're a communist who wants to say democratic socialist.
sure.
And then
Now,
you're going to say,
if you're a
I just
strong
want
believer,
universal health care.
but if you're a strong believer in safety nets or government regulating, you don't want capitalism on the loose. You're not a laissez-faire fiscal Republican,
Right.
perhaps even libertarian. Okay, I get what you're
We
saying.
believe that regulation very much has its place in keeping both the populace safe from people who, again,
Yep.
capitalists in a capitalist society, businesses do exist to make money.
Yeah,
So
you don't want
let
to
them do
Ferengi.
that.
Yeah, you don't want to live in Ferenginar. You know what? You're not. Ferengi. That's a
Yeah. What?
Ferengi capitalist, imperial capitalist. I got you though.
Okay.
Your distinction makes a whole lot of sense to me. I go ahead and
Mhm.
continue. So our second video is shit libs.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which part of the debate that even is. But yeah, we have another video that's gonna be Shit Libs, talking about Kyle Kalinski's video that we checked in on earlier this
Oh
week. So
God, the
that's kind of a
douchebag.
yeah, who is a douchebag, but that's kind of a take layered on to a take that we've already done a take on, take on, take.
Yep.
And then I think we're gonna check in with kind of the crazier faction of America First, who are still looking for Charlie Kirk's killer. Um,
Oh yeah,
Kind of see
I poisoned your algo with this guy because uh, I initially had sent a video. Well, we'll cover it when we get there. All right, so we're going to go. Yeah, okay, that sounds good. All right, but before we get into all that new business, I want to cover some old business. I like doing that at the beginning of the show.
yeah,
I was going to bring my evidence of MTG, but due to time constraints and other reasons, we're going
we're
to
starting
hold
a
that
little late.
off for maybe tomorrow's show. And if not tomorrow's show, we'll squeak it in. It was a slow news day, so but we kind of want to get this in. And I haven't completed my faction work. I'm gonna me and my brother decided we're gonna kind of make like a faction definition list that we both agree on, and this way we can kind of place the people we watch into which faction we think they fit.
And agree
And
upon when we feel like they've kind of shifted from one to another. Because it's
true.
also there in the American, mindset.
Mhm.
You can't put us in a box, man. We're hard to define. So
Gen
I
X
think
was
that
all
will be
about
an interesting
rejecting
part.
labels. I mean, Gen X was all about rejecting labels. We
Right. But
avoided
y'all know
labels
that
like
that's labels are necessary to communicate, right?
yeah, well, and now I'm fucking 50 plus and I
Eh,
love being labeled MAGA. I mean, I enjoy it. It's the first time I've ever, could thought I am a baptized Catholic, but I'm not really a Catholic. It's just not something I identify as or whatever.
right.
There's even when I was a neoconservative, I always said I was of the neoconservative persuasion. I didn't like come out and call myself a neoconservative. And I
You're
was
just so
never
damn
ever.
slippery, aren't you?
And as much as I like the Republic, well, I'm Gen X. Don't label me, bitch.
Mhm.
That was kind of our motto when we were, go back and watch The Breakfast Club, which is funny because it's all about clicks. If you go back and watch an 80s movie, they're all, jocks, you know, stoners, nerds,
Right.
popular.
In the box. Yeah. Oh,
And
absolutely.
they're all in a box, but don't put me in
There's
a box.
literally a famous scene, Breakfast Club, where you can call me the
Yeah.
cheerleader.
Yep.
Yeah, right. That's
Uh,
funny shit. But yeah,
but
real
that's
quick.
about it.
Oh,
I would
go
say
ahead.
that's about it for old news. I think we cleaned it up. And I just wanted to cut the only real news, big news, hot topic. Again, another slow news day. But Trump did get a ceasefire between Israel and Iran, and that went into effect. And they're going to come to the White House. I think anyway. They're getting together for a peace deal. And right now, it looks like Iran's going to wrap up with a peace deal. Everything's positive currently. All signals from them and us is that they're going to talk again this weekend.
Okay.
That's it for
And I
news.
would think this isn't really old news. I might describe this as, instead of covering full takes, just kind of tidbits, because these are just like videos that I've also watched today. I'm lucky enough, my job allows me to watch YouTube videos while I'm doing work with my hands. So I get to watch a whole shit ton of videos in a day. One of
Yeah.
them was checking in on the Keno Casino and the quartering rivalry that we kind of mentioned. I thought it was interesting because I didn't know that people like Asmongold has even weighed in at this point, because it's
Oh yeah.
like you were
The whole
mentioning.
yeah yeah
Go
that
ahead.
whole community. No, I was just reaffirming what you were saying.
Yeah,
I
that
I, I
it
didn't.
seems like a pretty big subject, right? So I just figured it was worth mentioning, even if we don't play any takes on that. The other one that I saw that I didn't bring this take, but I think it's worth mentioning in case anyone's like, "Oh, that would be kind of interesting," was Stephen A. Smith on Megyn Kelly's show. Um,
Oh Lord.
I heard about that, but no, I still think it was a worthy conversation to see, because we've kind of contemplated who's going to be the 28 candidate, or what outsiders are going to throw in their ring or hat in the ring, essentially, because I think that's where it gets really interesting. But it was a good conversation. Just tidbits I want to mention in case people are looking for other shit to watch other than what we're going through. Is
Oh, and
that
also, what Ashley St. Clair? You texted me that. None of that came into my bubble. Benny
has
Johnson being
not? Did
gay.
you say?
And I just want to say Benny Johnson may not be a homosexual, or he may or may not be, but he's definitely gay. I just want to say that. That was just very important. And I'm MAGA. So fuck
Right.
anyone's got an issue
So
with it.
that means a lot here. Okay.
Yeah, that means a
Um,
lot.
and this first one isn't even a deep dive clip, but it really touches on something. It's kind of been our theme so far this week, which is kind of a be careful who you let into your house. So this is someone, again, it's a take on take on take. This is someone describing a video, that a content cop, if you're not familiar, from iDubbbz, that criticizes other content creators. This one was about Ethan from H3H3. So this is our take on More Pegasus's take on iDubbbz's take on Ethan's take on the left wing of the Democratic Party. Takes on takes on takes. No one else can deliver this to you.
You
Takeception.
guys are actively bullying him.
Yes, bro, you get it. You get
Oh,
it. All right,
you done locked up? Is are you getting it on your screen? Are you
I
getting the
paused it.
video? Oh, okay, but I mean, is it up?
Oh, is it move?
Okay, okay.
Bad. All right, yeah, there we go.
All right, all good.
Yeah, making sure I got the right timestamp. I believe that should be about right here.
And being like, don't bully me. It's like insane levels of hypocrisy. Now, there is one part where I actually completely agree with iDubbbz.
I started to wonder if I had any idea who this guy actually is.
You made how many episodes with Hassan? Like, this guy made a fucking program with the biggest mega leftist on the platform. Now he's acting like he was tricked and he was incapable of figuring out what this guy's beliefs were. Bro, I didn't make the fucking leftist program. You did. You made fucking, what, 60 some odd episodes of this shit for hours talking to this guy? You didn't have a problem with any of it until,
that was spot on. Ethan unironically did this to himself. Everyone warned him about this. Everyone warned him his sound was completely crazy. His community was toxic, but he didn't listen. And now he's fostered a community where he continuously gets harassed. You basically reap what you sow. And this is sadly going to happen to iDubbbz as well. He just doesn't know it.
I think something that's very important to me in bringing back Content Cop is to be.
Okay, how new is the video that we're currently watching? The guy with the overall take. How new is this? Did this come out recently? Today, yesterday, this week?
Yeah. And I should give that context. Sometimes I mix in current content with just subjects I'm trying to deep dive on. And right now it's Hassan Piker rather than this time last year it would have been like Nick Fuentes or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
since he's a hot. Okay,
yeah.
And so roughly how old is this clip we're watching?
11 months old.
Okay, about a year old.
Yep.
All right, about a year old. Okay.
And honestly, that was the entirety of the clip because it's again everything about that just screams, "Be careful who you let in." Right?
Yeah. You know that's my line. Yeah, that's my line.
And I think there's a certain crossover between careful who you let in and what others might perceive as policing speech, and what the left didn't necessarily do well was broach being able to explain.
But it's all about if it's your house. If it's your house, yeah, I don't have to if it's a matter of I can't tell someone else who they can let into their house or whatever. I'm using it as an analogy for platforming. Is basically what I'm doing, and propping up and getting close with, or even joining with, whatever. But like, if it's your house, you can tell me. Trump went off on all them guys again today. He had 2 tweets going after Joe Kent and Megyn Kelly and all the low IQ dumbasses because he was bored. Anytime he flies, that's when you know you're going to get good tweets. When he flies or he's bored on the weekends. That's why all the best ones usually come on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's giving you background from about a year ago. When I first heard, the very first time I ever heard of Ethan and Hassan was when their feud was fresh. I can't give you a time frame. About a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago.
Maybe right around October 7th, 2023.
I'm gonna have to pull up my history. I need to pull up my history and take a look because it was on a right wing guy's stream when they were talking about. We were looking at left on left.
It was definitely like I'm pretty sure. Again, this is why I'm doing the research. Is the October 7th attack is like kind of I think that's what iDubbbz was alluding to when that thumbnail rolled in on the corner.
Yeah, for sure.
Was the leftovers? I think it's episode 61, or like I'm trying to remember what the thumbnail said, but I'm guessing that was like the root cause of. There may have been some disagreements or like some shit behind the scenes or whatever, but from everything I can tell, that's the big one.
Okay.
That's it for this guy. Let me add. So next we are jumping in with, do you remember, Larry, and did you get a chance to watch the last Shit Libs debate I sent you with Hutch? It's kind of the same group that was talking to Destiny, but it was before that clip. It doesn't really matter. I should just skip ahead to it.
I don't think I was able, because I was real busy today, so I wasn't able to catch up. And what little bit I did catch up on was stuff that's just not related. Otherwise, we should cover that Freerin video.
The reason he chose that. Hutch, what I was going to.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I'd totally be down.
No, I did not watch this one.
Yeah, no, that's fine. What we're watching then is, again, takes on takes. This little penguin down here in the corner the channel is Riled Kitten House, who's coming up on 4,000 subscribers here.
So a little guy, good.
Yep. I would
I
definitely
like
consider him.
indie bands. I would say I
Yeah,
like
right?
indie bands.
Exactly. Yeah, it's nice to have a pulse on all sorts of degrees of popularity, top down, what
I
different
find
people are
those
doing.
guys more fun. They're less audience captured generally, and they're not too arrogant. They're still building. I kind of like. I always drop people. Like I've been with certain creators, and once they get big, I kind of get bored of their stuff, and then I go find another mid-tier creator to follow to
Because
check
that's,
in
I
on.
think, when people get big, they feel like they found the formula, so they're going to
Yeah,
follow that formula kind of thing, which,
yeah, yeah.
can you blame them?
It, yeah.
But Penguin Guy, I would definitely say is further to the left than me. I based on the way he qualifies a lot of people's representation of Hassan's views, I would feel like he would maybe be slightly to the right of Hassan, but definitely to the left of me, kind of a thing. And he
Alrighty.
is commenting on this. Lib and Learn is the name of the panel.
Oh, is that that
The
soy boy or whatever? What was his name?
Yep,
Soy
Soy
boy.
Pill is in the bottom corner here.
Oh yeah, soy.
I'm really important in the top left. Was on the one of the
Are these
surround.
people? Are they big? Are they important?
I They are second layer, if not third layer. They're not Destiny important even. So how important do you
Okay.
think Destiny is? And I would put them whatever
Hmm.
nth
Okay. Let's
degree
do a quick
below
power
them.
ranking of left of what I would think is the left uh podtariat.
Because tomorrow's the
Um
pod right day
well
for the power.
Hassan's sitting at the top, right? Well for
Um,
younger
above
because
like
you
Pod Save America.
yeah, ooh, is he? I don't know. Data
Well,
wise, is
that's
he?
he was literally the show almost like acting as a gatekeeper to through this past week interview him to see if he's legitimately worth listening to. So in my eyes that would mean he had to go to a higher platform in order to make that case, and it was
But
Pod
that's
Save.
it, but is that a political thing or a media thing? Like, I mean, is Hassan probably pulling
I
more
think it's both.
eyeballs than Pod Save?
I think it's both.
Okay,
I think one of
so
the bigger reasons why Pod Save was able to grow as quickly as it did is because of establishment connections, very likely. So it's
oh,
both. It's hard to
I
take those apart.
gotcha. Okay, so anyway, then all right. So your Pod Save guys are up there now. I don't listen to the Boomer Liberals, so I know Midas Cast has big numbers. And who's the other big Boomer uh lefty podcaster? There's Midas Cast, and there's one other big one. Who? Oh, I know that that Welch lady is her name Welch. She's real big with the cat with the Karen crowd with your guys' Karens.
Welch, I'm not familiar.
Oh, I'll bring up some. We'll have to look at her one time. She's crazy.
Yeah,
I'll
maybe I'm too
I'll
young.
bring. Okay, yeah, they're all old. They're for older people though. They even older than me, and I'm old, but they're like for the older,
Yeah, for the right.
and
Um,
probably higher tax bracket too.
yeah, I'm trying to think of other people I would even put above Hassan. Um,
I can't. It just when you say if the first name coming to my lips when you say a lefty pod, and lefty I mean generally just a liberal slash
someone on the left.
someone on the left as opposed to your more precise definition. I would say Hassan. I would pull out Hassan first, Destiny second, Bosch on Destiny's level.
Right,
Mm,
on the pod bro. Okay, see, that's a good qualifier that I wasn't taking into consideration.
what's that?
Is they call them the pod save bros, but it isn't, again, because they had this prior history with establishment politics, it doesn't feel quite the same way.
There you go. Like kind of like how I took a front when you were talking about Pierce and Megan.
Yes, right.
So
That's
let's put
interesting to
them
think about.
let's put them into a like establishment podcast.
Mhm,
Like pocket the podcast establishment. Whereas
right.
this is where Hassan and Destiny and those guys live in podcast new media. They're a creation of the new media.
Right.
Of
It's
the
just so
internet
hard to
social
not
space.
consider, because PodSave also is at this point trying to start making conventions to compete with like a CPAC kind of a thing, to not
Yeah, but
consider them.
dude, they're the 40-year-old guy hanging out with 20-year-olds, still thinking he's cool, but he's there. In other words, they're doing the "how you do, fella kids."
You think
Do
so
you
with the Hassan thing, or just in general?
just in general, because he was trying to put out TikToks there for a bit. I don't know if he continued to do that, because I was following him on Twitter, on X, and he was trying to do like TikTok content. And I know the Never Trumpers were clowning on it. Because that's how I have a few Never Trumpers I follow, or anti-Trumpers rather, I follow.
You got to find an
And
audience, though. You know.
yeah, I know I just they're over 30, and that's what, like, I was watching Gen Z content today, and you remember when you were fucking 17, 19, 21, you want to listen to someone who's closer to you in your age group.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I guess, are you saying that they shouldn't try to reach a younger audience, or what?
Oh no, they should try. I just don't
Mm,
think they're going to be as successful at it.
yeah, it could be. But
I
yeah, this
doubt they
is
put any of Hassan's people over. Hassan's people probably came over to watch Hassan on PodSave. I I I wonder how many of those would stay.
right. I get you. Let's get into this guy. So, Lefty talking shit libs.
What I say about Slotkin is, I mean, regardless of what you think of her politics, watching her under fire on breaking points, like I thought.
Okay, this is what it was. Yeah, completely. I couldn't come up with what the topic was. Have you seen this interview of Alyssa Slotkin on Breaking Points?
I believe that's the one that we watched in our first incarnation of our show.
Okay. Would do you think you would have seen this if not for me then, Larry? You're
No, I
welcome.
would not have seen it. I would not
Yeah.
have seen it.
Let's kind of get then everyone's takes on how this interview.
That was a very dismal performance from her. Like, and
Bro,
yeah,
I think this is a Rorschach test. I think you should watch it again
is.
and just.
I love that Hutch calls it a Rorschach test, because it totally is. It's just not the test he thinks it is.
Go into it with be open to a different interpretation, because
That instantly struck me when I was listening to this, because I feel like what this person just said is, it is a Rorschach test, and you're not seeing the butterfly like I see it. It's very funny that someone would agree to the analogy and then misunderstand like what the
Yeah.
analogy would even mean.
It's
But
basically a small version of Starship Troopers, where leftists will show up about twice a year screaming at righties saying, "You're misunderstanding. It was supposed to be a satire making fun of fascist, your interpretation of the movie's wrong. Stop enjoying it." And then we're all like, "Yeah,
Right.
but they blow up bugs." I'll do my part.
fun.
I actually rewatched that. I watched it at the time and I had the same reaction that I did the last time I watched it, which is a few days ago, just to like remember what that was about. I think in that moment, she is a adult who feels a bit of contempt and frustration that she has to like talk to children.
Oh,
that's
the
my take.
thing. That's
on
why I
that.
said, regardless of your politics, I
What?
just think optically it still looked bad. Like, I don't think she handled.
Oh, I've never watched that.
Nebraska needs a voice brave enough to take on Trump.
That's right.
Someone's
Go,
got-
lady. Karen.
I don't think that's a good attitude to, by the way, that is the precise essence that Third Way and every single other Democrat consulting group says is the cancer of the Democratic Party, right? This is what kills Democrats. When you look like an arrogant piece of shit, that destroys you. You cannot come back from that. You cannot look like an arrogant piece of shit. You will lose. You will lose. You will lose. So stop looking like and acting like arrogant pieces of shit. It's super easy to understand.
I think it is bad. Like, I don't think she handled that well if you agree with her. I don't think she handled it well if you disagree with her. Like, I think that is not
I disagree.
if you're going to be under fire or running for president, I think it's really just not a good look if that's how you handle adversary. And if you like compare that to, like, I don't know, Bill Clinton on like Fox News, I just don't think she had good responses. And I agree. I really don't like crystal ball and Sagar and on a lot of issues. So I'm not like saying this as like a crystal ball Breaking Points fan. So
I could not disagree more. Like I felt like she was remarkably composed. There was really only one moment where she let the guard down.
Dude, Hutch. How does Hutch think she was remarkably composed? Because I've not seen this interview, and somebody linked me it as well. I've not seen it, but I don't know a single person who thought she handled it well, except for Hutch. Hutch is like literally the only person in the world I've ever heard say this. It's like what Soy Pill's saying. It's more of like, even if you agree with her and hate Breaking Points, she got like kind of rolled, and she had no way to deal with it, and she looks really bad. Yeah, it's like he's somehow taken a position here that seems bad. I really wish I'd watched the interview now.
I think I remember the interview. This is where she was dodging about her Israel.
The vote for the Iron Dome.
But then what she ended up doing was scheduling an appearance on Stephen Colbert, so she didn't have to be in town for the vote.
Right. Yes, exactly. So that she wouldn't have to look on it at all.
Does it bother the left at all that her background as a CIA agent?
The left, like lefties, yes, and a lot of liberals, no.
Okay,
and
interesting.
I that's broad brush, obviously, but that's how I would see it.
Okay.
What I thought was fascinating. So he's talking shit on Hutch's. How could Hutch think that? It really feels like he's taking a bad position on this, and his reasoning is because everybody told me so. I wish I had seen the interview. I don't like that kind of shit. Like, there's something about speaking with such authority about how bad a take is when you haven't even seen the. You're talking about takes on takes on takes, and you want to critique the middle take without.
Yeah, I would probably go. You know me, bro. I'm all about receipts. I want to see. I want to see the origin. So I would have to. Personally,
you're looking at but you're looking at an hour-long video. He does obviously goes through a good amount of the interview itself. I don't know if we are going to cover a good amount of it. No, we've only got one part really of the interview. But I think he makes really good points about Hutch's and the way that Alyssa Slotkin may have handled some of these questions of you're almost talking down to people for even asking the question of why they would supply certain weapons to Israel. And when you talk down to people, a lot of voters are going to go, oh, fuck, that guy's kind of an asshole and not want to vote for you. So I do think that's well explained how Hutch is being pretty much an asshole. And then there's a good follow-up that puts kind of a cherry on top that I thought to Ryle Kittenhouse's credit was well edited.
The question is unfair because it's obvious what the answer is, and so you shouldn't ask.
I didn't say. I said it's.
I thought you said it was unfair.
I said it's a silly question. It's a really, really, really profoundly silly question.
The way she answered the silly question was not nearly so optically good as she could have. Like it looked like she's on the back foot where the answer should be nearly so optically good as she could have. Like it looked like she's on the back foot.
Awesome. Just
or the answer should be a simple like, hey, we have allies and we have adversaries. And I'm just saying, I'm not so confident that she could perform well on a presidential.
So is that a layup question then, Hutch, if it's so obvious?
It's a layup if you're not a politician and you don't need to worry about being composed, because you would just look at Crystal with a silly face and be like, what the fuck are you talking
No shot. Hutch just said, when I make these silly faces at you, Pisco, when we talk, when I make these silly faces at you, I am saying I am saying you for asking me this question. I am saying you stupid piece of shit. That's why I make the silly face. That's particularly insulting for Pisco, who had to sit through Hutch making these faces at him consistently. And Hutch is literally saying, well, actually, the correct answer is make a silly face at them.
So obvious.
There's no way.
It's a layup if you're not a politician and you don't need to worry about being composed, because you would just look at Crystal with a silly face and be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But she had to like pause.
Dude, there's no. He said it. He actually said it.
Compose herself and then explain really basic concepts like adversaries versus allies. Like we would never in a million years.
I think Crystal's question is sort of questioning that Israel should be an ally of America
There's
as
a
it's
better
currently
way.
operating.
I get that point, but there's a better way to do that.
I think she's saying, so what I would guess is, this is my guess on the progression of the questioning, and I really should just watch it so I stop guessing. But I'm guessing that when they say, hey, we shouldn't provide Iron Dome to Israel, right? Well, they go, no, that would just be punishing the civilians of Israel, and we just want to protect civilian life. And the corresponding question goes, well, why wouldn't we do that for Iran or Russia? If it's just about protecting civilians, well, we don't want to go after their civilians either. And it's almost like, well, when you provide that defense for the civilian population, that actually shields the government from the disdain of the population from committing acts of war with other places, right? That if your population is unprotected and they have to actually withstand the effects or the responses from the other countries around them, then, well, everybody's mad. Everybody's like, no, stop going to war. Be nicer, right? Diplomacy has a better chance of flourishing when you don't have a literal shield preventing you from any reprisal. It changes the calculus of the country who's doing the aggressive actions because they now are insulated from the aggressive actions. That's not to say that you should just always cut off that like you have to cut off Iron Dome funding. That's not what I would say it means. It's just saying that it is something that enables offensive action. So if you're just saying, well, it's only about protecting citizens, no, it's not. It's not just that. There's something else that happens there.
And they eventually did get.
I think that was the last bit before he gets into the interview. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, his logic is interesting. I was trying to remember without having instant recall of the original what they're debating to begin with, and I don't know the people. The whole are they adversarial? The Pisco versus Hutch, are they?
They're
normally
all liberals. They are only adversarial, so in the sense that they are vying for who is the most moral and logical of all.
Okay, but okay. I'm
They're
just
all
trying to,
liberals.
because I don't know
One.
the people, so I don't know their relationships. And so when he's making faces at him, that kind of went over my. I didn't get so he has no respect for that guy's opinion.
Yeah, I guess here's the thing. I want to get Hutch ranked on our power rankings so that I have a shit lib in F. Because his whole shtick is to go after the lefties as hard as the lefties go after him, or go after the Dems, I should say.
Do that for Iran or Russia. If it's just about protecting civilians,
and to meet it with absolute disdain, mock these people, make it very clear how stupid they are in a way that wouldn't at all coalition build, with the same kind of techniques that the left would use. Right. So that's really my secret motivation on this clip is
my issue is, since I don't know them and I don't know the relationships and I don't even know their granular politics, because kind of like they all look the same, all lefties think the same. I'm still affected by that just because I haven't been exposed to it. Just like I'm sure lefties are, all MAGA thinks the same. Although I guess the rather public feud has disabused some of that notion.
Some
but
of it
still, yeah,
not as much as you might think, but some of it,
yeah. Hopefully.
See, this is a good critique of. So for the most part, other than maybe interrupting a little bit, it's just a hardball interview. It's just like, I'm going to keep pressing you on things. Like maybe you can kind of say there are a couple things that you can complain with the framing. This is the one part of how they interviewed Slotkin that there is a whole lot of area to critique, and Ryle Kittenhouse picks up on that pretty well.
All the time about those moms who can't feed their babies. Those babies are starving.
Need better internet? Cox Internet has the fast, reliable speeds you're looking for. Get Cox.
Like I said, since we're gonna have to go premium, if we're gonna do this for real, we gotta go premium.
I know this is too much.
Yep.
With the Dem type people, the more liberal types who say this was a bad interview, this would be where, like, this is now terrorism a little bit on her part. I do think this is, like, in terms of professionalism, that I might agree with her entirely on the emotions, but this is like borderline terrorism to do this to, like, somebody who's coming on your show. I do think so. I think all the policy-based questions were all totally fair. To do this and like have the catch in your voice, that's rough. That's rough.
To death. And I just want to know, like, you're a United States Senator. You did vote for some of the bombs that were dropped on refugee camps. When kids have been sniped in the head, tents firebombed, people set on fire. The entire Gaza Strip turned into rubble.
By the way, I totally agree with Crystal on this. I just think that this is a rough one. I totally agree with her on the emotion, on how you feel about it. I think pressing on the opinions, getting those on the record is very good. This probably getting more emotional like this is going to prevent other people from coming on the show. And
pause.
I would never.
Do you remember the Sydney Sweeney meme a bit ago where she was being interviewed by some journalist
about the Jeans Act?
Yeah, it might have been, and the journalist wanted her to say a certain thing, so she front loaded that question with a bunch of emotion and her whole, she looked at her like she was a bug. Real big on the right, it was real popular. This was the same thing I think she did to Slotkin. She so charged that question up. Dead kids. There was like a whole string of, it could have been a pamphlet handed out on a college campus. Instead of just straight asking her the question, she loaded that question up.
Yep.
From that emotional place. And I do think it plays. I don't think that plays very well, very much outside the left anymore. Right. I think a lot of that emotional, I don't know that emotional, not blackmail, but I don't know. I just think there's much more of a harder tolerance to weaponizing the empathy. People are just getting more and more like, okay, as soon as you get to your third or fourth adjective of why something is worst thing ever, people kind of shut you out.
And the way that I've described it to lefties that it feels like might get some traction is like it's just moral grandstanding, like in a way that would make it more understandable from their perspective and more easily digestible as a self-critique, if we frame it that way, I think. But I don't know.
Did you want to go more with this? Or you have a little bit more to do?
Yes.
Go for it.
Yeah. Okay. There's one bit about I don't know if you saw. I think it was from the Bulwark, even, or at least they commented on it.
I never see any Bulwark, so everything you bring from the Bulwark
is new. Well, they had a piece about, you're familiar, I'm sure, with AIPAC Tracker, right? They're popular on Twitter with graphics of how much AIPAC has donated to different candidates.
Shoe on Head likes to pull them up like when she's bagging this politician or that politician. I love obviously I'm Shoe's fan base. What do they call them? The Shoehead Stormtroopers, a member of the SS. A lot of them are right. Yeah. They call her alt right now. She's a Bernie bro. She just had a video attacking the right. I think the Iran war. I'm pretty sure that's what she was attacking.
I can see that.
But she's still. I don't know how popular she is on the left. I think they hate her.
But yeah, a lot of people use those graphics to kind of help paint a narrative. But the Bulwark piece was at least commenting again. I don't remember if they were the ones who broke it. But that there are a lot of problems maybe with the methodologies, and they kind of touch on that near the end of this.
Oh, sure. You took $4.2 million from the pro-Israel lobby. Like, what do you have to say about that? That number came from AIPAC Tracker, and I don't know if you guys heard about all that controversy. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, like their methodology seems like totally fucked.
Their methodology is crazy. Like if it's an individual donor who at any point has donated to a pro-Israel lobby, they were counting that in AIPAC Tracker, and they were not
I don't think there's a flawed methodology if you point it out. I think that's a totally fine methodology if you point out that that's what you're doing. I think anybody who's donating to AIPAC is going to be like a Zionist, and that's the whole point. I don't think that's a flawed methodology at all. In fact, I would love to see the person who is anti-Zionist, who is taking money from an individual donor, that also donated to AIPAC. If there's like a significant amount of that, if that's where like 30% of the funding is, it's actually going to anti-Zionist candidates and just somebody who was like, you know, a handful of billionaires who donated to one thing that was AIPAC funded or AIPAC organized, then maybe. But I do think that gives you a good idea. I don't think that's flawed methodology. So long as they say that's what the methodology is and they don't hide it.
And again, the story is that they had never revealed that this was their methodology. Unlike what Ryle Kittenhouse describes it as, it isn't anyone who had donated to AIPAC, but to any of these pro-Israel lobbies. So to sweep like this it feels like to ignore that there's a story about their methodology that broke, and it's just kind of funny.
I don't know how
I
don't know how anyone doesn't approach any data sheet provided by anyone who has an agenda for or against something without skepticism.
With a good amount of skepticism. Here's the thing, though. Graphics, we live in a visual world, right? You and I would think that, but most people don't.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
so it's about influence. Yeah, exactly.
People and be like, well, this is the AIPAC tracker. This is so you know.
I know how effective the AIPAC. Yeah,
it isn't.
All the whole anti-Israeli crew on the right uses AIPAC tracker, I believe, as well. So
thousands of women have reversed.
That's a thing I'm kind of familiar with.
Right.
And I don't have any comment on it, whether it's a good tracker or not. I kind of don't even have. Again, you know my opinion on the whole Israel thing. I'm like,
I get you, and even without knowing, if someone said, "Hey, their story just broke that there are flawed methodologies with the AIPAC tracker," and someone said, "Well, I don't think that's a big deal as long as they disclosed it," the internal logic of that debate is like, "Well, no, did you hear what I just said? A story broke about their methodology. We just found this out."
Yeah,
it just seems
in your statement you say they didn't disclose it. It wasn't public. They didn't disclose it. It was disclosed.
They didn't disclose it. It was just presented as the AIPAC tracker. You know, like it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but there's another bit.
It's a fine print on the bottom of the commercial that nobody reads.
Question. And she was saying, well, she needs
like technically under AIPAC tracker, the idea is basically tracking Israeli influence in politics, right? Like the influence of Israel or pro-Israeli people in politics. That's the point of AIPAC tracker. It is not just to track AIPAC. It has to be to track like pro-Zionist influence, right? Well, if Larry Ellison starts his own thing and starts donating money, the people who are trying to track AIPAC probably want to include him in it somehow, right? I don't think that's strange. I don't think that's confusing. I think it's pretty obvious.
But it's not called the Zionist tracker. It's not called the Ellison tracker. I wonder why we specify one particular group that people know about that they can tie to certain actions in the past that they didn't like. Like, I'm trying to think of a better example of this kind of.
All I know is this: I could probably give to AIPAC because I like Israel for whatever reason, but I would not consider myself a Zionist or anything. In other words, I'm just saying. Plus, you got to remember, a lot of donations come from pressure. Rich people go to rich people parties. Everyone at the party donates to the cause of the party. You know what I'm saying? Especially like they were saying that someone was a one-time donor or whatever. It's very guilt by association.
Or if you've ever get to the ADL before, you're right. Exactly. Yeah, just ridiculous. I think that was it for Ryle Kittenhouse. I do appreciate about that guy that he's got the little penguin avatar. I think it's just adorable when it talks and moves around a little bit. It's got a little blink blink.
Yeah, it's a VTuber. I've been watching a lot of them lately.
Is that what it's called, VTubing? I'm an old man. I don't know any of this shit. That's it for here. That one. Okay, and then our last clip for today. I am going to cut out the guy following up on Kyle Kalinske and maybe just move it into tomorrow's show. I figure on Friday we will have a longer episode because we got power rankings, we got some follow-ups. I don't have work the next day. It's kind of when we can go a bit longer.
Yeah, that works for me.
Cool. Then I'm going to skip that one and go to, again, this is your fault, Larry. You brought this into the world. Zach Costello has 300,000 subscribers. Again, I know you like to say don't look at subs, look at actual views of
Yeah,
the video.
well, I mean, subs are kind of important, but the primary
Yeah.
is who's watching them. Now, views can be faked as well, but it's more expensive if you're going to hire a view botter. View botting, whatever. In other words, it's easier to buy a bunch of subscriptions than a bunch of views.
I've heard with YouTube, particularly like shorts is a good way, like an easy way to get subs. But since they don't actually watch long form content, your AdSense isn't actually going to
Fucking
benefit at all.
the quartering's getting in trouble because he's making money on shorts. Apparently, he like does a 5-second bit at the beginning of them, and then he steals someone else's video.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ! Yep.
Yeah, and the downfall of that guy is just incredible.
We are in prime slop territory for the internet. It's just reposts on reposts on.
Yeah.
Now the only reason we're giving takes on takes on takes, but don't look at us.
Yeah, well, we're nobodies just trying to crack in. We're trying, and whatever.
It's free, man. We're doing commentary.
Yeah, no kidding. We're just having fun. And anyway, this guy, the only reason I came across this guy is because I was on an Andrew Wilson kick because I love every now and then I like watching debate like MMA, and I just like watching people's different techniques, arguments. I really don't, about winning the argument. So anyway, I got an Andrew Wilson kick where he was going on different people, and this was the first time I saw him take on a right winger. So, or that video I sent you was the first time I saw
Erika
him
Kirk.
take on a right winger.
Right. Which is
apparently nothing Andrew Wilson said when he laid a pretty good argument down seeped into this guy's head.
Not at all. And I want to be kind. I know it's not good to bully people online. I'm the shit lib, so obviously I don't want to give this young man any undue displeasure in his life. He's one of the stupidest people we've talked about so far. You can see in his eye, like you can literally watch the wheels slowly turn in this guy's head. Especially in that debate, it was ever present. But yeah, he's following up. So we yesterday talked about Ben Shapiro on his comments on how Candace may have been playing a role in the danger or the threat to Erika Kirk's life. Zach here is one of those people.
For the record, I just want to say for the record, remember, I think a lot of that's drama. I don't know how true any of that is. I think attacking the whole, I don't want to tell anyone to stop attacking you. It's a free country. Do what you want. It's a kind of a shitty thing, in my opinion. But at the same time, I do think Erika Kirk plays it up too. They're all playing it up. There's no good guys. It's like Game of Thrones podcast edition. They're all gray moral people.
Yeah, well, this is just the world we live in, though, Larry. There's nothing we can do about it except as the watchers simply sit back, and we are sworn to never interfere or intervene on the events that unfold before us.
And it's the culture of white knighting. Like this guy's a Candace white knighter. He's there to charge in and protect the one thing, because Candace seems to be
You're going to love how he starts this clip. I'm sorry, go ahead. Because Candace does
okay. Just that Candace is the center of his world. I know there's a cross behind him, but at least it's the center of his streaming world. But go ahead and go on.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to let him go for...
With what little bit, to be fair, with what little bit of content I've seen, and my algo doesn't bring him up anymore. It's been flushed out now. So I haven't seen when this is new to, I forgot he existed until you sent him to me.
No, and with the caveat that should always be applied to everything. Now that we've started creating content, I don't care how stupid you are. This guy makes videos every day and he puts them out there. So good on that guy. It's hard.
I don't care how stupid we are. We're threatening to put out videos.
Really
not every day.
Out there. Yep. Some people might consider me dangerous. I don't know, but I like that I live in a world where I can play this guy's video and be like, I don't agree with that. So
I'd go
do that.
White Knights or the White Knights for the Erika Kirk White Knights or the White Knights for Erika Kirk. WK, EK, EKWK, whatever you want to call them, are out in full force after the news broke that Erika Kirk would not be attending the Turning Point USA event at the University of Georgia with JD Vance because of a serious security threat on her life. Turning Point USA has come out and said that the reason Erika did not attend is because there were people that doxed Erika Kirk's travel plans. And there was a threat on her life, which, if that is the case, we should certainly be seeing the FBI arrest someone at some point, correct? Where are the arrests? This is a serious threat. This is a serious thing. Who's being held accountable for this?
So, Larry, where are the arrests? 2 days after this random threat was made, where are the arrests, huh?
Why do these people think the FBI gets involved in everything about the Kirks? What elevates the Kirks into either politicians or state employees or members of the military? You know what I'm saying? Where the FBI would have jurisdiction. Number two, someone better, how about the people that, I don't know, how many times did Tim Pool get fucking swatted? Nobody got arrested over any of that. And he's not the only conservative. I think but someone broke into Benny Johnson's house or burned it down or something. This was a bit back. I don't remember the details. When he was living in D.C. before he moved to Florida. No one went to jail. These are all top echelon MAGA influencers.
And absolutely, there's no doubt that it happened, right? Like this guy's argument essentially boils down to right now, oh, so you say crime happened? Then where's the criminal? Like first of all, we're 2 days past threat. And second of all, to your point, plenty of crimes, no criminal is ever caught.
This guy proved in that debate, he doesn't understand if you're making the positive claim, you must be the one to provide the evidence. The person who says, I don't have that, or I'm not doing that, can't prove to you he doesn't have that or is not doing that. You must prove that person has that or is doing that. It's a very simple, logical thing. And it never, after 2 hours, I think those two went at it, and it never sank into this guy's thick fucking skull that if you're making the positive argument, you must bring the evidence.
Yeah, the onus is on you. Let's check back in.
I laid out to you all the game plan in my show yesterday.
And the rich fucking irony of calling out Erika White Knights when this guy is fucking just hanging on fucking Candace's pubic hair. I'm sorry. Don't you see, bro?
Absolutely. I everything I have heard from this guy, I heard from Candace the day before. It's one of those kind of things.
You listen to more Candace than I do, and I'm right wing. Ain't that funny?
I listen to more everybody than everybody. You hear me? I've got the voice of America falling on my wavelength. All right.
I laid out to you all the game plan in my show yesterday. My opinion is that this was a political stunt in order to push incitement of violence claims against alternative media and podcasters, particularly and targeted mainly at Candace Owens. But once they get Candace, they come after the rest of us.
Stealing Trump's tagline. Yes. He's stealing Trump's tagline. They're not coming after me. They're coming after you. I'm not sure. No, I don't know the origin.
He's the tip of the spear, Alex Jones, because he's the tip of the spear.
Do you steal from them? I don't know where the meme globalists. And to be fair, I don't know if that actually came out of Trump's camp. It was in the MAGA meme sphere. And I don't think it was ever like an official truth or tweet prior to him getting kicked off. It was old.
Right.
It was around by the time I converted. Yeah, by the time I converted, it was around.
Yeah, I did think that was funny though. I'm going to just start stealing lines here too.
I've seen the post already.
And what?
Oh no, I was just saying I love how he takes the leap. There's been no accusations against anybody about the security leak or the security issue as far as I know. But he took that whole leap to this. They're coming after us. This whole thing is a setup for them to come after us. I have not seen anybody anywhere buzzing about they got to go after Cam. But maybe it is happening. I don't follow White Knighters of Erika.
when you're a conspiracy theorist like this, any pushback that you get generally is perceived as that's how I know I'm getting close to the truth.
Yeah, I mean, pull up
Alex,
tweets,
yep,
pull up
right.
people
But
saying
Alex
it.
would describe it as when I'm over the target, I get a lot of flack, like airplanes before they could really tell where exactly they were at over certain lands, at certain heights. They would tell that
And
they could drop
to
the
be
bombs by
fair, in this case, to be fair to Alex Jones, though, generally he is getting a lot of flack. Now it might be rightfully deserved flack, but my point being is you can see it out there in the world of people attacking Alex. Well, not now. Now he's pretty elevated, but back when he was a bad guy, before when he was still pro Trump, they were. You could see it. This guy, I swear to you. No, I don't follow. I don't even know what a white knight Erika Kirk TPUSA white knight who one is. I'd love to see evidence of this that he's taking flack from these people. I don't know. Right now, he sounds like those paranoid people that that he's got an enemy out there. But
Yeah,
are they in the room with us
it
now?
doesn't have to be based on real, yeah, exactly, real actions or pressure. It's
Perceived.
why else would they be pulling all these strings? What
Yeah,
else is it for if not to displace white America?
First
I go.
Amendment doesn't apply to incitement of violence. You guys need to wake up. Wake up. This is the game that's being played right now, and it's very serious. This is the strategy. Pay attention. Ben Shapiro is one that is leading this charge as he levied an attack on Candace Owens, going so far, as you're about to see, that Candace, is the one who specifically instructed this doxing or following or stalking of Erika Kirk's travel plans. You need to be aware of this clip because it's also who else Ben Shapiro calls out and exposes to the current Trump administration is listening to when it comes to their political and media advisors. There's some similarities that you guys need to be aware of. Also,
Oh boy,
Gary Melton, host.
Oh, I'm just saying. Oh boy, this is going to be good.
Tracy Martin, best friend, BFF of Erika Kirk, and they tried to push the Charlie wasn't friends with Candace Owens narrative again, as you're about to see. And I'm going to start with this clip of Gary and Tracy, and I'm going to address a couple of things. And then I'm going to show you how bad of a day that Gary Melton is having. Andrew Colvette, who we all know is his close source at Turning Point USA, has now screwed him over once again. And he's done it multiple times here in the last, 24 hours. You're going to want to see this. But like I said,
And then the clips.
I was going to say before you go, this is what I blame? I blame that our entertainment sucks. That people are just creating their own entertainment. This is like I jumped in on episode 472 of the Stomach Turns. You know what I'm saying? I don't know any of the people in this storyline. There's this whole storyline. I feel like I missed 3 seasons. This person is connected to this person. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, 1,000%. One might say, and this is again from recordings that aren't posted currently, we are amusing ourselves to death. This is a book. Again, I should lend it to you that if what we consider news is displaced from what's relevant to simply what's novel and what's interesting, what gets clicks, then it will no longer be information that's relevant to you that you pay attention to all day.
Yeah, because everything is just so hyper. Yeah, and that's a rather complex storyline, and I feel like I missed the first 17 issues. Even the comic books or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just so interesting. Okay. Anyway,
1,000%. Here's the other thing: is I need to fill you in between what we just listened to and what we're going to play. His proof that so Candace has been saying that you can listen to her point of view on how Charlie's his mind was changing on his stance of Israel is Candace's
yeah,
position.
I do remember that. Yeah, that she's got I don't know what the evidence is or whatever, but yeah, that Charlie
I don't know
was
either.
And that is that his donors were pressuring him, and they couldn't, so they end up killing him.
Yep, but the last time she had regular contact with him was like 2019 or whatever, when they were still working together. To think that instead of like his wife, co-workers, and friends, instead of them having the best outlook in like what he was thinking in those last couple weeks when Israel was and supporting them against Iran was still a hot button issue, and to say, well, no, his friend and coworker from 6 years prior or whatever, that's who we should be listening to. And then think that this is critical thinking, to think that you're asking the right questions, kind of a thing. And I'm like, are we cooked? Are we fucked?
Are we cooked? Yeah. All right.
It's a little
And number
black
two,
pill.
how does Ben Shapiro have any connection at all? Ben Shapiro has no connection to the Trump administration. He couldn't get anything done. Ben Shapiro sure seems to have a lot of. Well, let me see his lay out his evidence. Continue.
Yeah, and I'm hoping this at least touches on that bit. Oh no, you know what this does touch on? He doesn't really lay out the evidence. He's just not that kind of guy, I don't think. To his credit, I don't think I watched the last like 15 minutes of this bit. But what I wanted to highlight here, what I think is really important, because he later on in this, he makes the comparison between Candace and Alex Jones, kind of warning people, hey, they're going to use what they used on Alex to silence Candace on this. Where it's interesting, because Candace talking about Erika, it's going to be a lot harder to prove defamation, right? With public figures, it's easier to legally say, well, I had these opinions based on different stories that were available that could lead me to believe certain things were true. It might be different if they start getting into certain TPUSA employees or other people who they're insisting are in the plot, much like, I don't know, the parents of people who died in a school shooting. That's where they might get in trouble. And I think this clip might be touching on that a little bit.
Turning Point USA told the Post Charlie and Candace remained friends. So just stop. Just stop. Stop with this stupid, false narrative. Tracy Martin. Tracy, just tell us if your daughter was scheduled to go to work at UVU that day. Just tell us if she was scheduled by her employer to travel with the production team and with Charlie Kirk that day on September 10th. But then she decided not to go to work. That's the question that's being asked of you. Otherwise, please be quiet. You off.
So yeah, just asking questions that will never end. If you give us an answer, we'll find another anomaly that we will question you endlessly about until there's no pleasing these people. They will always find some other layer of this conspiracy.
Well, plus they're asking the people they don't trust for evidence that they will trust.
Right? Yeah, what would it fucking matter anyway? Yes.
Yeah, yeah. If I provided you don't trust me anyway.
And I don't know the person he's even talking about, because I don't go down the rabbit hole to learn all the details, because I don't believe in little palm guns or whatever.
I can't waste my time on it.
You know, waste my fucking time. I also don't listen to crazy people in the subway. You know, I believe that everyone has a right to speak, and I'm going to hear people out.
Oh yeah. I do not want to shut this. Whatever.
I'm sorry.
What's his? How many viewers for this episode?
Viewers 66,000.
Profitable.
Earlier today, if I went to
profitable
channel, looks like about bigger ones would be over 100K and about 80 on average, maybe 70, 80.
Yeah, you're making money.
Yeah.
If she was,
and again, anyone who makes content at all,
yeah,
even if I think it's dangerous, I don't give a. It's fucking hard work over here, man.
Hey, those are good numbers for people being interested in it.
Drama slop gets clicks. What can you say?
Yeah, but I mean, there's always, before the internet, there were genres that, popular that just weren't my thing. The people listen to country western music or whatever, country and western. What am I from 1950s? People listen to country music, and and I didn't know anything going on in that world. And there's a lot of people that listen to it. So I mean, I'm not even being too detrimental. I listen to these crazy people that are convinced that the city of London has been controlling the United States since President McKinley. And I sent you the screenshot of how many people. They had as many viewers as a Dave Smith episode, live viewers on a Dave Smith premiere. Yeah. So I mean, everyone's got their little weird things they watch. So I'm not being, too judgmental about the whole thing. I don't. It's just that there's never any evidence. There's always urgency and there's always questions, but there's never any resolution.
That's the problem, is we've mistaken being endlessly cynical as being critically
inquisitive,
thinking, as
critically inquisitive. Yes.
Mm-hmm. When it's right, question everything, trust no one, Mulder, or whatever the fuck.
It's a warped version of critical theory. Critical theory in itself is always criticizing the original proposition. It never offers a proposition of its own. It just rips down the one that exists. It nitpicks. As a Star Trek fan, we nitpick Star Trek, and you pick it apart. Now, good fans fix it. When Khan shows up in Wrath of Khan and he tells Chekhov, "I never forget a face." Yeah, but Chekhov wasn't in season 1 when you were, Khan. So the fans fix it for him by saying, "Well, Chekhov was around. He just wasn't on the bridge crew yet, so that's why we didn't see him." Khan has an eidetic memory and he went through the computer base. Whatever. As a fan, you fix that hole. You fix it. And then if your shit is shit, then no one fixes it and they just shit on it. And that's what happened to New Trek. We were like, I'm not even going to try to fix it. I'm not going to try to fix your Klingons have do dicks. I don't care.
But what if instead of it being Star Trek, where this is a show about fake events, I'm going to turn real life events. I'm going to turn the news into a show that we're going to pick apart, and I'm going to have my fan theories. It's my headcanon, but it's
this
not.
Is what
it's
we, in the 2010s. In the 2010s, these same people would be tearing apart Lord of the Rings and Star Wars or whatever. They'd be tearing apart a franchise because they loved it. Game of Thrones. I don't know how many videos when I was in the heat of the Game of Thrones high point, learning the differences between the books, because I didn't read the books, versus what was happening in the series. And when there were all that excitement, and everyone was kind of nitpicking the little differences and the little, but now there's no mono entertainment that's drawing everybody in. They're creating their own. And it's with real life characters. It's kind of like what Islam did to the Christianity. They take all the characters, but they give them new roles or they twist them up a bit. I think that's what they are doing. There's nothing real about it. What are they going to get to the bottom of?
What are they? What?
What are they going to? I mean, I don't know. Where's the payoff? The delivery.
Charlie on that one. But here's the thing about behind flat Earth shit and just the general huge surge of conspiracy theories is all of it leads to what you're told is a lie. They lie to you, and the natural progression of what people will inquire about will then mean if I know they lie to me, I need to trust sources that they have told me I shouldn't trust. And those sources, it just so happens to have a whole lot of, protocols of the elders of Zion and all this fucking bullshit that Nazis and neo-Nazis after them used to base all their shit on. And that's why people said, no, it's dangerous because, there's a Holocaust and shit like that.
It's too close to the friend of my friend or the enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. In other words, no, if you don't have, they have an agenda too. You should be critical of everything. That's why before we started doing this, where I'm learning the personalities, what attracted me to a show was usually the guest. I was interested in what the guest was saying. whether it be a Weinstein, left, right, whatever, religious related, science related. Yeah, I was more interested in trying to look kind of like what Joe Rogan's diversity of people. You know, he has sports stars, actors, scientists, pseudoscientists, you know, that whole kind of vibe. And this is so, it's like being caught in one conspiracy. I don't know. Conspiracies can be fun. Some conspiracies can be true. You know, the government sees, Andrew Wilson points this out. The government sees conspiracies everywhere. How many people are charged on conspiracy for this or that? All the time.
Absolutely.
But there has to be, you have to have more than a whole bunch of dots that you are Charlie, you know, from all It's Always Sunny.
Right.
You got to
Yeah,
have
exactly.
evidence. At some point, you need evidence.
But that's the thing is and what's so weird to me is the difference between like an Alex Jones or a Candace Owens, where they're aware of the tactics, or I would argue at least they're aware of the tactics that they're using. Whereas that young gentleman, I forget his name, Kyle or Zach.
He's copying without the intelligence to recognize what
The
he's
intent,
doing.
right? But it still works the same. If in independent media, all I really need to do is find a couple of sponsors who don't care how like crazy or outside of the mainstream that I am, then it's just let's start getting some clicks because I've got someone who's going to pay me,
And
and
he's
then when I get
successful.
more clicks, someone more.
It's
But what?
working. It's working.
Because
Getting
we are
paid.
amusing ourselves to death. We have replaced new. It is not what is relevant or what is workable, actionable. It is what is novel. I've never heard that before. I got to see a picture of that. You know, that's new.
I just don't know what getting to the bottom of Charlie Kirk's murder is going to do about your mortgage, more basic problems that we are facing. But to
Right.
them, it's the ultimate.
It seems like in order to believe that there's something else to uncover, you have to already believe that we are under a Zionist occupied government. You know, it I don't know, it presupposes a good amount of things, I guess is how I would phrase it.
See, I'm immune to fear of anything, so maybe that's why the whole I don't want to call it Israeli derangement syndrome, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Derangement syndrome's going around lately.
Yeah, yeah. Is that a new one? Oh, okay. Maybe I might have picked it up subconsciously. I don't remember hearing anyone use it, but yeah, I mean, that whole I don't know, because like I said, I don't know. I feel weird about it because I don't want to dismiss. You know, I get it. I mean, I do get it that American money going to Israel. I might not like all that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just so in the focus. It's so prime, and it's almost I don't know zealous like a religion. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm not explaining it very well.
No, I get you. There are parts of me that think, man, our Secretary of Defense slash War, having a prayer in every single one of his things, updating us on this Iran-Israel war, just feels like some sort of new crusade kind of shit going on.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
It's hard
But I
to
remember the
blame.
previous administration throwing up a trans flag on every fucking thing in the world and having every other day was some some awareness day for this or that. I'm just saying yes, you've got individuals and and collective thoughts. Now you don't like the Christianity. I get that. You're not a Christian or
I don't
you
like
don't
Christianity. I've
yeah.
converted as an atheist, man. I'm a humanist Christian.
Okay, then yeah, I didn't like how that came out when I worded it anyway.
I don't
What don't
like
you
the Secretary of Defense or War, whatever we want to call it. It definitely gives everything the intonation of a holy war when
I just see
everything
him
seems
saying
to.
prayers over his you're just like the guys on the football field say a prayer before, after, hell, they praise God as soon as
Right,
they score the
okay,
touchdown.
hold on. This is going to be a great thing to go off on if I can find it.
Sure. I
Gotta
do
make
not
sure
see it.
it's real also, because I don't want. If
I
it
do
was
wish it
chaos,
were a holy war, Deus Vult, maybe, but I don't believe it is. I wish it were. I think it's a real politique war. I'm all about it. What crusade did we leave off on? 6? Well, I
all
think
the
he actually got.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, I'll go all Deus Vult if you want to, but I don't think that's what this is. Especially if they come to a peace deal. If they end up coming to a peace deal, what happens to the crusade line of thinking?
Well, and that's if I were to say I don't like that my Secretary of Defense gives this whole thing a feeling of a crusade. That to
But
me
that
is
is a
like
valid personal opinion. That's
right.
I totally accept
And
that
I
as a
feel like
valid
there are a
personal
lot of
opinion.
people on the left who would instead frame it as, and I feel like this is a result of me kind of tempering language, knowing how it's going to come, how extreme it would be to just say something like, Hegseth just wants to blow up all the damn Muslims because they're brown and he thinks he's sent from God or whatever the fuck.
You
Like
might
it's,
feel
I
that on a
think,
personal
not.
level. I might not even disagree with them. I'm just saying. I
I,
don't think
I
he
think
would, but
I feel like
I
it
think he
is
might
a
feel
difference
that
to say,
way.
man, I
He
just
has
don't
a
like.
tattoo that says Kepler, infidel. It's infidel in Arabic. Yeah, he wears it proudly, like MAGA wears deplorable. So, I mean, he might feel that on a very personal level. I don't know. I don't think it's guiding. First of all, he's going to do what Trump does, and Trump's the Antichrist.
I feel
And
like in a
praise be to
professional
Allah, I think
setting,
he's a Muslim.
are you supposed to bring personal attachments to a professional setting? Generally, I feel like
No,
people would go, man, that just doesn't feel professional to me. To
that's your
bring your
valid
personal
opinion for you.
to it.
Others
Mhm.
disagree. Others
Let's
disagree.
I do before we do some final thoughts. Here's one more clip to share um, of our deeply religious Secretary of Defense / War.
Oh wow, Brennan, that's going to get good. Hold up. Go back. You can start it from start. Brennan, that shit's going to hot, and we're going to have some good fun with that because I'm telling you, no one on the left has no idea what's coming down about him. Michael Steele. I won't even get into him. I
Just to get
love
to that,
MSNBC.
they were the only thing that had this clip. Right? This has nothing to do with them.
Oh, okay.
Blessed is he who, in the name of camaraderie and duty, shepherd the lost through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children.
This isn't even the full thing. He did the Pulp Fiction thing, Larry. He quoted Pulp Fiction, the thing that is just written by Quentin Tarantino. Like,
Okay,
God
so
bless our troops, and any
okay.
of their foot fetishes they might have. Is that not
I don't.
funny?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's funny. I don't put too much. For me, it's just man. Okay, yeah. Pete
Right,
X
to me,
says
that it feels like comedy's not legal for MAGA sometimes.
for what?
For
Say
MAGA.
that again.
I feel
No,
like
I mean
that's
say
just
the
a
whole
funny
thing.
clip.
Oh
The
yeah,
man
yeah.
quoted Pulp Fiction as if it was actually in the Bible. That is objectively funny. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on.
But okay, but did he think that was from the Bible? Did he state that was from the Bible? Did he? I don't know. Did he state that was a Bible verse?
Yes. Again, as far as everything I can tell, yes.
I'm sorry. Do you know when that clip was? What day it was? Because I'm gonna look up the
I think it
original
was
clip.
yesterday.
Yesterday? Cool.
Believe
No,
so.
this is me just I'm gonna look up the clip because I didn't see it in out of or in context, and I want to see where he attributes that to a verse.
What's interesting, if he's saying it's a quote, then why are their little lines changed? Because then it wouldn't be a quote anymore.
It'd
Their
be the
little
quote from the
flourishes.
movie. Wouldn't it be a quote from the movie? You just said it was a
It
quote
isn't
from the
line
movie.
for line, though. Why would he be changing certain words from a quotation?
Okay, so play the clip again. I haven't evaluated it. I'm curious now. I want to see. Play the clip for me again.
Let me see if I can.
Or
I think
send
it
me
would
the
be
link.
better.
I'm sorry. Just send me the link. Just send me the link. I might
I
even.
want to get the full one.
Yeah,
One that
I
sees
might
the
even.
whole thing.
It's so weird that this caught your attention when this is like. I mean, I remember the Well, I don't remember. Is this the briefing? This is the briefing from the morning. This is the briefing from the morning, isn't it? That was this morning.
This one.
Or is it last night? Please send me that clip you just played. I want to look at it. I want to see where it's from.
One here, I'm gonna get you the full clip instead of MSNBC's small clip of it, because I want to get you the full thing.
Yeah. Oh, if he did something idiotic, then yeah, I will say it's funny.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I just don't.
objectively
I do
funny.
not trust the filter. Again, trust the filter. I do not trust MSNBC's filter. And when we just watched it there, I didn't listen very close. I was, so that's why I was asking you to replay the clip for me or send me the original.
If I have this up right, what I'm going to do is, because there's a transcript that I'm going to do a really quick search of. Last is he 524. Okay, and then let me share this guy. I'm old. Bear with me, audience. Did Pete X? Okay, make sure you can hear this.
And that was, everyone was looking for something else. In Jesus's time, we often look somewhere else and look at trials through the wrong lens. And Jesus understands what kind of recipe we need for his purpose. Which leads me finally to a prayer that I'll read, which was also handed to me a couple of days ago, delivered from the lead mission planner of Sandy 1.
Okay. Someone else wrote it.
One where the
you just said someone else gave it to him. So he didn't even write it. Someone else gave it to him. He's reading it. And
he wouldn't have written it. It's scripture.
Well, no, he just said he was given a prayer. It's a prayer.
Yes.
It's not scripture. Scripture is exact wording from the Bible. He said he was given a prayer from this person, the Sandy 1. They were the A-10s. They were part of the rescue mission. He just said, go back.
A-10s that were a part of the daylight rescue mission of 44 Alpha, Dude 44 Alpha out of Iran. And if you know anything about Sandys, their job is to bring those A-10s and put them in between the enemy and that down pilot. And so their job is to literally sacrifice themselves for someone else. And in Iran, in contested territory, that's exactly what they did. So this prayer was recited by Sandy 1, which is one of the Sandys, to all Sandys, all those A-10 crews, prior to all CSAR missions, but especially this CSAR mission that happened in real time. They call it CSAR 2517, which I think is meant to reflect Ezekiel 2517.
He does not say it's Ezekiel 25:17.
Right.
He says the prayer is
made to reflect Ezekiel 25:17.
Yeah,
a Bible verse that does not exist. The joke still stands.
Oh, does it?
This is exactly funny.
Oh, if that's true, then I don't know. I'm not a Bible scripture guy.
So the prayer
is according to this, it does exist.
Pray with
Pause.
me, please.
Pause. Ezekiel 25:17 says, I will carry out great vengeance on them and punish them in my wrath. Then they will know I am the Lord when I take vengeance on them.
And that's not what he says. He literally
but that's
says,
not what. Yeah, but he's not saying. He said it's a prayer. He doesn't say it's scripture.
Right. Okay. Do you not think that's kind of funny? That our Secretary of Defense is objectively, that's funny. He's talking about a quote from a movie that's like a popular culture reference as like this is the shepherd that would like to pretend like he's not trying to evoke the Lord here when he's talking about
what was the original source of the prayer? What was the original source of the prayer?
The battalion or whatever, right?
Yeah, the A-10 pilots that were risking their lives searching for the guy who was down in Iran. One that got shot down. One A-10 was shot down and had to eject. These were men that were, it's a very dangerous, so they have this prayer they made out that they sent to all the A-10s doing this very dangerous mission.
Of what they did. If anything, isn't this taking time away from actually talking about that to give a movie quote?
This was a prayer they created. This is their prayer.
Reverence to like the mission in this moment. It is, to me, it is objectively funny, and it's fine if you don't. I think it's funny that Pulp Fiction was referenced by our Secretary of Defense, or War, whatever you want to call it.
But it's so weird how it's so out of context. You don't recognize any of the context it's in.
Right. Does that? I don't know how that context doesn't still elicit a chuckle. Is it not funny? It was like a, hey, before we go out, it's kind of funny that Pete
Go ahead and continue. Go ahead
was
and
talking
continue.
about.
Please finish it up. Continue.
The path of the downed aviator is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of camaraderie and duty, shepherd the lost through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to capture and destroy my brother. And you will know my call sign is Sandy 1 when I lay my vengeance upon thee. And amen. So thank you for joining us this month, every month. Thank you for worshiping with us on taking just that moment, which, as I say every time, is fitting and proper to do in this building at this time, in this place with Americans.
How is that a call for holy war?
That isn't. Do you think I'm saying that's a call for holy war and not like every other
okay. I'm
thing?
sorry. That was what led us into the whole thing. How him saying a prayer was how you felt, made it feel for you like it was a holy war. Am I misunderstanding?
Everything else about the way he presents shit about like in every single press meeting, it's all about like their prayers before and after.
Well, this individual one, it had a very significant meaning.
And this I'm bringing up because it was funny. I thought it was just funny.
Oh yeah, I did. I thought it was kind of cool. I thought it was cool. That's it. Our bubble. No, I never said you didn't have a right to your opinion. Didn't I say at the very beginning? Your opinion is valid.
But it seems like you're looking for a reason to disagree with me when it's something that is like, I think something's
No, I
funny.
promise that's not my intent. I told you I would have flipped right away if I thought it was used stupidly. But in the context that it was in, that it's a prayer written by the A-10 operators who are doing this very dangerous mission. And yeah, you know what? They're not priests or chaplains. They're A-10 pilots and the people they're communicating. This is a prayer among a team doing a very dangerous mission. And he read it out to everyone there talking about the mission.
So I'm criticizing them using prayer on the mission, and the fact that Hanks the time of this press conference.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
It's just a Pulp Fiction quote. That's objective. I think that's fine. I'm using the objectively because I think it's like how could you deny it? But
I think it's tough.
Objectively,
yeah, I think it's tough. Could you imagine soldiers? Because that's who wrote the prayer, soldiers, and they're using it as they're picking up their buddy fighting a dangerous enemy. So yeah, I think that's
they're not in a press conference.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Say that again.
Because they're not in a press conference giving an update on what happened in like I.
And did he also cover other topics? He was just reading that prayer. Did he cover the?
So here's the thing, right? If we're amusing ourselves to death, then should I just turn on blinders anytime I see a fucking headline? Unless I do like an 8-hour deep dive. This is what Joe Rogan and all.
No, but I'm just saying you got a rather large impression.
Shouldn't even motherfuckers then.
Okay, well then show me another clip. Okay, show me another clip where you think he's used. Well, okay, no, I don't want to be frustrating like that. Show me another clip where he's doing the holy war thing.
Because I'm at my wits' end. We're an hour and a half in, and I can't ever just get through like a clip, bro.
You're breaking up real bad, dude. You're breaking up real bad. So, I'm sorry. Never mind.
We just can't go this late. We can't go this long. We got to tighten our shit up because it's 2 nights now. At the end, we get all punchy and off the rails.
Yeah, but it's also probably the realest we were the whole damn time. I'm just saying, it probably was. All right, no, I get you. Hey, all love, brother, all love. No matter
All
what.
right.
All
Hit me
love.
with links and shit. We'll do power rankings tomorrow.
Yeah, well, and try to lighten it up. We'll try to have some fun. I'll try to find some fun stuff to bring along. Peace out, my man.
All right. Peace.